Hello there, Lynx here, and we are playing Wind in the Crown. I think today we are finishing up with episode 2, and tomorrow we'll get to episode 3. That's what I believe, at least. So let's get to it. I'm not concerned or anything, okay? I'm not. I just don't want to discover at the last moment that Zoe isn't done or that my aide could have assisted the creation process.
Hey! Exactly who I wanted to see!
I knew it. How can I help you?
I need to hunt down a big stick to make one more throwing spear. Would you mind keeping an eye on Zoe for me while I go scavenging?
Does she need watching?
She needs encouragement.
And you're asking me?
She also needs someone who can keep her focused and working on the right project. We spent 3 hours working on the terrible tiny spider thing.
That's more reasonable. Spider, what? Wait, where do you find the materials to make a tiny spider?
We took forks out of the mess kit and bent them.
Right. I can see why I'm needed here. Go gather what you need, and we'll talk about misusing our limited supplies tomorrow.
Misuse. It was super cute.
Go, please.
I'll be back soon.
Our lives are in their hands, and they were taking forks, bending them out of shape, and then using them to make a spider. From now on, someone more dependable is going to be in charge of keeping our crafters from creating useless trinkets and hardcore narcotics. I don't know what Poppy has been crafting, but I just have to assume, okay? Zoe, what are you working on?
Oh, hello. It was Aku, right?
That's right. How's the electric net that is going to be the key thing saving our lives in a few hours coming along?
You're upset about progress, huh? I'm upset about it as well.
Perhaps if you were more focused on the task at hand.
Is this the spider you were making with Harry? Oh, she told you about it. Yes, that's Bertram. Do you think he's good? I think he's good.
My first reaction is to want to spike the thing in the ground. She snapped off the tips of several forks to make the legs around the walnut body. Unbending isn't going to save those forks. I'm going to try this the same I teach my students. We'll start calm and see how far I get before their stupidity makes me take a break. His cuteness isn't the issue here.
It's the transmission of the electric current along the proper medium while maintaining a sufficient voltage and high enough temperature to cause vertical fibrillation, muscle contractions to kill a natural mortal creature with a low power generator.
Huh? She made up those words, didn't she? No, actually she didn't.
But we've got the cuteness factor down, so that's at least some kind of tangible progress.
Oh, so the spider is going to be used in the net? Somehow? So, Veronic Wire's idea did it work?
Define work for me, please.
For the purpose what we are trying to do, did you weave the net with whatever wires you needed?
I understand. You should have been clearer. No, completely impossible. Why? You sounded confident it would work. And if I had the materials, it had a reasonable successful chance working. We lack the length of wires in the proper durability to stand a reasonable chance at connecting to a dragon or enough materials to make a flexible metal net. The generator isn't in the best of shape either. It's low on fuel, loud and prone to failure. After spending all night in design, I concluded it was not feasible to try that approach.
Why didn't you tell us earlier?
I had to present something. I was about to give up when Erika noticed that she'd misplaced one of her files. It was just the inspiration I needed to craft Bertram.
How does a misplaced tool inspire you to waste silverware?
You don't see?
No!
Peculiar. Anyway, Bertram is how we are going to hunt our prey without a net.
But instead with a web?
No, a web would be very ineffective. It likely would burst in flames when the electrical charge was pushed through it.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. It is? I don't even know how we could weave spider silk.
Zoe, never mind.
Was it some kind of phrase I didn't understand?
Yeah.
Sorry, I struggle a lot with linguistics. I'm struggling with a lot lately, but I'm doing my best. Thankfully, I think I've made something that will show you all how useful I can be.
I tried to interject an apology for Azaya's behavior yesterday, but she's really pushing forward and showing me some very crude drawings.
We don't have a net. It would take days before we even got the materials to weave one, but what I've got should be effective if we catch it on the ground.
No net. I dare say it was a bit much to hope that they would have been able to get it that quickly. We'll have to ensure that the fight takes place in the cave. Adding torches to the priority list of things to be made.
Instead, I've scavenged up as many batteries as I could, used what wiring I had, and when Eric gets me the spear in the shorter dimensions, I'll have the Electro Jabber 800. It will require me to get close enough to stick the BC, but one click of the button and it will be cooking dragon.
You're sure it will work?
There is a 15% chance of failure based on the quality of the wire and forks I had to use, but I can't minimize it too much more. I know we're fortunate to have had so many things we could tear apart in camp, but without real materials soon there is a hard limit on what I can do.
Well, I understand that. We're short on everything here.
Then why are we staying here?
I mean, I don't understand the question.
Did I say it correctly? Let me try it a different way. If there's no supplies here to be had, why do we continue to stay in such an area?
Okay, I did hear it correctly. I mean, she's right about that, kind of. I'm just not understanding why she doesn't see the completely obvious. I'll have to spell it out for her. You see, if we go out there, we'll have no shelter, no idea where we are, and no supplies of any kind. We'll be attacked by wild monsters, assuming we don't die of exposure or starvation.
But staying here runs contrary to the intent of the games. The lack of supplies proves this. We were never meant to stay here past the first event. No food, no supplies, very few packages.
It's likely that we haven't found them.
There is not enough to sustain one team, much less 4 teams that should all be vying for control of resources. There's also one key piece of evidence that... Sorry, you probably don't want to hear this.
I'm willing to humor you.
Nobody has died yet.
How is that evidence that we aren't supposed to stay here?
Whittling down to one team is how this competition is going to end. If you recall that, then we can assume that weapons and armor beyond sticks are out there. It would be tragically unfair to presume we are only meant to fight with fists. Then there is the dragon. That's the crown gem in my theory.
You think it is an impossible task?
It is possible, but I'm more thinking about it as an apex predator. We're out in the wilderness and haven't suffered a single hellspawn attack. I think it's because the dragon has this territory marked. If we kill it, they'll slowly return to this area and swarm us. Any team that bunkers here could find itself with no supplies or weapons to repel such an attack.
And if we leave the dragon...
We'll eventually get attacked and likely suffer heavy losses. The way we win this is by following the rules of the game, but staying one step ahead.
By killing the dragon, taking whatever reward we get, and then moving deeper in the forest in the vain hope that we don't die to the multitude of lethal dangers.
Death is an unavoidable part of the progress in these games. Only by accepting the risk can we make achievement.
Have you talked with Stefan about these ideas? I'm sure that she would be able to put your concerns at ease.
She agreed with me.
Did she?
She also agreed with me that I should be one to wield the Electro Jabber 800.
No.
But...
No. I'm going to give it to Asai or Rixori to use. Maybe even myself.
If you have an under amperage or a fail to discharge, will you know what to do? No, but... You were fine with me operating it before when it was a net.
Because we were going to be the ones throwing it?
Is it my physical form?
So you told me that you weren't the best of shape.
Okay.
It's not because of your body shape, okay? I like it.
I understand.
Wait,
You like it?
good, because...
But I'm not letting anyone other than me operate this. I don't trust you with all with my invention.
You're not operating it.
Then I'm not crafting it. This something should only be operated by a professional.
You don't have to do this to prove something that doesn't need to be proved. I mean, Aku, you're kinda the same constantly, right? You're really not budging on this, huh?
I'm not. If anything else, I'll take full responsibility.
I hope there are enough us left if you mess this up.
I won't.
I guess we'll see. Your egocentric ass. Spinning around, I storm out before the self-absorbed narcissistic inventor who can't even... like you're the one to... Can't even bother informing the rest of us about the flaws in our expected plans pushes me any further. Our lives are in her hands, says she thinks, because Asaya made remarks about her breast. She needs to prove herself when it's clear she has never worked out in her life. I'm glad I didn't apologize. When I die later, I can feel in the right milliseconds before I get mauled. I had to go find something to calm me down before we head out.
Wind in the crown.
Our troop heads off towards the cave with more than a little bit trepidation in our steps. With weapons in hand, the sharpened sticks give us a shred of courage that I hope won't be immediately dashed. Zoe is clinging to her peculiarly named weapon that looks like an abomination. I hope that her skills are better than that monstrosity she calls her personality. Like you are the one to talk about someone's personality. I really shouldn't be as upset as I am. I know the arguments that if it breaks, she's the only one who can fix it are valid. A small part of my brain even admits deep down I agree with her plan. But the tension in my body, the stress in my hand, refuses to let me calm down about it.
Here we are! The head of a mysterious creature that lurks in the dark. What's our plan, Aku?
I mean, Pirulin will stay back here. If anyone gets injured, exit the cave and Pirulin will take care of you. Moira will protect her. As I will stay with them and shoot any giant land creatures that try to get away.
Fine by me. No dark, dank smell caves for me.
Poppy, Rixor, and Sully, I want you all to hang back from us a small distance. If the electrocution plan starts going wrong, I need 3 to rush in to help us fight.
Leave some for me. Are you sure, Aku?
And the fewer people in the front, the less likelihood of someone making a noise that alerts it to us.
Understandable.
That leaves Zoe, Wukra, Sienna, and me. The 3 of us are going to be on destruction duty. If the dragon is active, don't do anything stupid.
I hope I'm not too high in cholesterol for the dragon.
You're not seeing yourself to it as a distraction, okay?
I can be a good distraction. You're a pretty good distraction to me. Which could get us all killed.
Just make some noise and keep it looking at us instead of Zoe. That's all we need to do if this plan works. If it doesn't, well, try to avoid the claws and stick the spear into its eyes and neck, and yeah.
The body's also a good place. Most creatures have weak, so squishy guts.
Well, unless it has a well-toned ups. Anyway, useful advice if you ignore the tone.
I also brought some of my homemade special with me. Just throw the stuff in the canteen right to its mouth and it shoot my loud during the rampage.
Is that literally scanty? Did you ask her to borrow it?
I did.
Did you? Really? Really?
Of course I asked her to borrow it. In your name.
We're going to talk about that when we get back.
Why does everyone say that whenever I do something?
Everyone ready? No bathroom stops or lunch breaks when we enter.
I wonder what dragon tastes like. Oh, it's absolutely exquisite. Just hand over a hellspawn corruption to give it that spice. It's to die for. I'm not dying for your dinner. Let's move out. Yo, cook.
What?
Like, stay safe in the road, right? And make sure that Walkers doesn't try to feed herself to a monster.
I try my best to cover up the surprise at a sudden, rather carrying statement. Yeah, I mean, I'll do my best in there to keep the seasoning out of her hands.
Good, I'll be so disappointed if I lost you and her.
Lighting up one of our handcrafted torches, we head into the dark cavern. That's surprising, what she said. Trudging through the darkness, I can't help but imagine the specter of the lurking around every corner, hiding under every oddly shaped stone. The band that normally accompanied our strange party vanished in the tension of the expedition. The unlimited braid works is in the background already playing. Not that silence is a bad thing. I'd rather not alert a potentially sleeping enemy to our presence and have my face closed off for it. But I cannot deny that it just doesn't feel right, especially with our rear guard containing Poppy. I can hear the faint dipping of water on cold stone further now. The unending darkness only haunts me further. Periodically I kneel down to see if I can find any kind of track or trace that might provide additional proof that the creature is a dragon. But I can't find anything. No old clothes, no shed scales, nothing. Damn it! Does it being hellspawn somehow make it immune to normal biological functions? Come on. What I would give for some magic like that. I'd never have to do up my hair ever again. So much time saved. Wait, what if this hellspawn thing is some form of magic? Maybe there is something I can exploit there. It worked before, it might work now. Reaching deep into myself, I grabbed where my wells of power would be and tried to sense any sort of lingering notes of magic. And damn it, there is something there, dark but not darkness I'm used to in literal, tangy but not the fire that once burned inside me. This creature left something magical, but I lack the information to be able to determine what kind of magic it might be. Something unique to this world, but that's all I know. Not having this information is highly upsetting. Why in the hell couldn't Chief give me an encyclopedia or something?
I'm surprised. I didn't think it would take you that long to use that skill, Mage Instructor.
Kneeling down next to me, my walking encyclopedia watches me with small scorn. You noticed.
Your touches on the elements is akin to a rampaging ball through a pottery shop.
Elementals.
What do you care? It's not your world, it's not your magic.
If I could understand your fake counter's word magic, then I could be more useful to the group.
Oh, just admit that you feel worthless without your magic. That my magic is not fake, and politely ask me for training, and I'll consider showing you why your methods are sloppy here.
I'm not worthless.
You didn't hear what I asked. Whatever, the darkness of this place will consume us soon.
Huh? You'll teach me.
No, but tell you that there is an overwhelming presence of magic further down this cave. I can sense something faint echoing the stone. Faint.
The creature might be asleep.
We need to get moving. You think it's asleep? Yeah, for who knows for how long. Soon I'll be sleeping as well, eternally.
Signing the others to advance, I lead the others forward. As trouble as rewards are, disproving Wukara is a strong boon to my courage. She's not going to die here. I'm not worthless. The only person who gets to prove me wrong today is Zoe when her contraption works like she thinks it will.
There.
Where?
I see it. There's a small bucket in the wall right there.
Creeping up with Zoe though, I prepare to discover some kind of cave, badger or big cat. Zoe can stop it zapping them, we can go down the corpse in its chief's lap. Oh, that's an actual dragon.
Aku, it's looking at us. It's awake.
This evil is what a hellspawn is.
What are we going to do? Why? Why are my limbs locking up? Why does it feel like my heart has stopped completely? I can feel myself falling back on the ground, but I wouldn't do such a thing.
It must be dark magics. I'm not scared. I've never been this terrified. The thing lets out a wave of hot air over me. It has to be double my size. Those claws are going to turn my spirit into splinters before it slaughters me. Pull yourself together, Aku. Legs, arms, do something.
Electro Jabber 800, it is your time to shine.
Being unaffected by the dark fall magic that have me locked in place, Zoe darts with her electric spear. That's right, whatever magic affects me can't affect it. That knowledge gives me the strength to start pulling myself back up. I cannot fall so easily. I'm the protagonist after all, even if a freaking lousy one.
Positive contact, discharging!
A deafening crack and flash of light causes me to turn away, but there is no way the dragon is escaping that.
It's blue! A deep cobalt blue that shines in the light of electricity maybe I could...
Whatever plan that she was going to develop to counter Ares' damaging words never make it out. The aggravated monster pounces on the girl, slamming her to the hard stone. The screams. I can feel warm blood splattering on my ankles. It takes the odd inventor's bottom half into its mouth, snapping its head back and forth. It's going to kill her. Then it's going to kill me.
We're coming!
Out of nowhere, Wukra sprints out and slumps her entire body weight against the side of the beast. Maybe it was the surprise that someone would attack her, but the grip on Zoe's shredded body is lost and she's flung backwards. But her blood-curdling screams don't stop. My mind is flashing back to the nightmares I thought I had outrun after my mauling and neural sacrifice. Wukra's attack lasts barely 5 seconds before it slams her heart with its tail, sending her flying into its lair. No noise comes out of there, no light to show me the body confirm why Wukra doesn't emerge or call out. I can feel hands on the back of my jacket yanking me back to my feet. I waited rot to me by what is likely a second dragon, but the light of the torch Solly has dropped shows her serious determined face.
Can you move? Yeah, Wukra. We're not out of this yet, not giving up.
Right.
Though it's like us, look, if she doesn't get it now, she's not going to make it. Get her out of here. Aku, you flank it on the left side, I'll flank the right, and Rix will get her wish and gauge the front.
Grabbing my spear, I cling onto her words as my anti-magic anchor. Her courage, I need to make it my own. By the way, the dragon was it was the worst case if it was blue, right? I think I remember correctly. Basically, electricity wouldn't work for some reason. Anyway, if we get under the belly, we should be able to slay it.
My idea exactly. Sounds good, right, Rixori? Where in the night house is Rixori? She was running backwards when we were rushing to help. Hey, the psychopathic murderer bailed on us. This is all she's ever wanted to do. No, she wanted to survive, to kill easier prey. But it looks like it is up to Poppy and her basic narcotics to take this beast down.
With pouch in hand, Poppy's diminutive form goes sprinting towards the bellowing monster.
Poppy, get back, yeah! I'm going to save my friends. We're going to go home together.
Yeah. With a mighty heave, Poppy lobs the bug right into the creature's roaring mouth. But however fast those drugs are going to act, it isn't nearly fast enough for her safety. With a lightning fast glint of ivory claws in the torchlight, I hear Poppy scream in pain as the claws rend her flesh and throw her to the ground. The shadow creature's advancing called her to deliver the finished blow to her prone form, so I rush forward to save her, but there is no chance of us getting to her in time. Another death on my hands.
Damn it.
Whoa, with speed that I had not expected from the blind Maggie and altruism I adapted her cold hard head, enough Lynx herself into the oncoming onslaught. Scooping up the unconscious form of my diminutive drug dealer, Sienna tries to roll out of the next swing. The claws are just too fast for more screams of pain echo in the escape of death. Sienna's blood joins the pulse, forming under us.
I've got her! I grab the...
Sully darts in to dance with the dragon while I draw up my spirit to scoop up the now unmoving body of Zoe. In what little light remains, I can see her horribly mangled leg flopping.
Ah, Sully! I'm fine, just a neck and head wound. A head wound, I mean, hard to see. You're telling me it took my glasses. It's moving for you, Aku.
Getting Zoe onto my back is already tagging all of my strength. I can dodge with her, but there is no way that I can just band her. I can consign people to death. My mind locks up. I can even pretend like it is some dark magics. I'm terrified. A whistling noise. The dragon lets out a howl of pain as I see another flicker of light rushing up.
Sorry, I decided to totally ignore your plans.
Like a dancer in all those court exhibitions, I always bails on as the court mage. Azaya comes in with arrows flying, completely ignoring me, and it turns out to rush her with single-minded determination. Swaying in and out, Azaya moves against her opponent with a grace that our lumbering, severely injured aspirants failed to do, missing swing after swing, coming close enough to ruffle her, but never landing a hit. But those arrows have about as much success against it as its claws have against her. Unlike natural weapons, for Azaya only has a few arrows and they're spent quickly. Leaving the duty of distracting it to her, the rest of us finish our panicked route from the cave. Moira! Yeah, rush back to camp and get Ahm-e.
Oh my god!
Zoe has lost a ton of blood, by the way.
Put her down, I can't take it from here.
Get ready to run, foe. Turning back, I see Azaya's hair fluttering in the air and she comes sprinting behind us. But Dragon, it doesn't follow. Maybe it just hates the light. Maybe it is settling for eating Ukra. Or maybe Puppy's likely suicidal efforts have some results. We live. But there was no victory this day. So I guess we are not going back for Zoe?
There you are. We've all been...
How bad?
Are you sure what to...
I need to know.
Aku...
Please don't. I know now is not the right time and that I'm not in the right spot for this, but leadership means that I can't just move out here forever. I just need a moment to collect my thoughts and my courage to face what needs to be faced.
You showed a lot of courage today, Aku. You people were here, you brought almost everyone back home. I mean camp.
Who didn't make it?
Ukra is the only person who isn't accounted for right now.
What? She's not going to be accounted for. I don't know if the others told you, but Ukra
was attacked by dragon, I've been told, but like Ufei said, nobody saw a body in the dark cave, so she might still be alive.
Much to hear to her dismay. I give a few hollow chuckles, but not even dark humor can lift my mood at the moment. I've never failed this hard before. Is that so? Are you sure about that? I've never failed before. Okay, now you're saying bullshit. You've said before to Sully how you failed before. Don't tell me you've never failed before. Oh my god. She's so annoying. Did Poppy make it?
She's still fighting hard, but dangers are more severe than they looked. The claws dug deep into her flesh, and we lack a proper medical kit. But there is a lot of fight in the little body. While lack to splice, Pirulin and I have been doing our best with what we've been able to scrunch up.
Do you think that she's going to make it?
We're doing everything we can to help her. You need to trust in Poppy's strength and our medical skills.
I love my fake childhood friend, but hearing her not give me the answers I need to hear is distressing. No false hope, no false despair. Alright. Zoe. That like didn't look too good.
We had to amputate. There was no other way to save her with what we had. Yeah.
I'd rather be finished.
Zoe's fortunate enough that both Pirulin and I are trained in the forge and sewing to clean it up. Pirulin has even had to do it before. Look on the bright side, but you see will be up in the morning designing a fancy machine on that one that she'll love far more than any flesh and blood lamp.
Doubt. Disturbingly, I think you might be right. I highly doubt it myself. And the others?
Sully and Senna are going to be fine as long as they keep their wounds from getting infected. Senna isn't going to be sleeping on her back anytime soon, Fa.
Whoa, wait. Sully's going to be fine. I heard her say that she took a head and neck wound.
Oh, a millimeter to the right would have been a different story. Just barely missed her jugular vein. Most superficial damage, for there was a lot of blood. Senna has been sitting at Poppy's side since I cleared her. Wasn't she screaming about how she'd protect her own safety first?
She was. I honestly would not have placed her doing what she did today.
When you find the strength to stand up, I think you should talk to her. She could really use a friend right now.
Then why not ask Little? The two of them get along quite well.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but she was going to be my first choice. Instead, she's moping almost as much as you are right now for not being there to protect you.
I'm not moping.
I know, it was just a tease.
You mope.
Okay, when we started these games, we knew that the likelihood of seeing the end of them was astronomically small. That our four teams went up against the dragon and almost everyone made it back is a miracle. I don't think dangers would have been as minor as they've been if it hadn't been for you and your Sully's snap decisions.
To be fair, if not Isaiah. If Isaiah didn't arrive, it would be a different story, to be honest.
2 severely injured and 1 missing is a small casualty rate.
Well, I can't just sit here forever. Jelly for Amy! Maybe I must use my legs to continue forward. Which is a bad phrase to use right after talking about how someone just lost their leg to a dragon attack.
Sensitivity has never been your strong suit.
And I doubt it's going to start now. Hopefully Sienna doesn't hate me too much over it.
There, we are going to talk to her.
I don't like leaving a mystery unsolved, and that lets me keep my mind grounded. Also, I might be mistaken, I think I've heard a bit of lightning outside.
I think it will help both of you. I'll go get something to eat, so don't worry about me overhearing anything.
You're a true friend, Ahmed.
Thanks, just yell if you need me.
The thought of facing Sienna again after having just nearly died is somehow more frightening than the literal monster that tried to devour me. Why is social conversation so intimidating? I just don't want to hurt her or myself any more than what we've already suffered. I can only hope. I can do this. She's just a blind teenage girl with magical powers. How many of those have I had to deal with over the years? Too many. Yet I'm feeling nervous over such a stupid thing. All I do is check on her, ask her why she did it, and leave. Easy. In theory.
Are you just going to stand there all night, or are you going to come in, Aku?
At least one of us doesn't sound distressed.
How did you know it was me out there? Your footfalls are deafening.
Ow.
Almost worse than the dragons. It varies know when you are approaching.
I'll try to step lighter around you.
Don't. Everyone has their own signature walk. It's how I identify people.
So what would you like me to do?
Quiet down and let Poppy rest.
Sorry, how is she doing?
They tell me that she's going to be just fine, but I know that tone of voice. That mystery is something I know far too well.
If they say she's going to be fine.
They're lying to make themselves feel better. Nobody likes seeing someone dying, especially someone so young. But I'm not so self-blinded. I do not tell myself sweet lies to make myself feel better.
You're just going to accept her dying, huh?
Accepting it or not does not change what happens, just like my actions did not change what was to happen to her. Perhaps it would have been kinder to her to have let her fade away into the night than to suffer.
Poppy doesn't really want to die, you know.
For a few yearn for death with every fiber of their soul, but we all make that walk someday.
Then why? Wouldn't letting her simply fall to the dragon's attack be a kinder fate? Because unless you are a lot more psychotic than I think you are, I don't think you would have risked your life just so she can suffer more.
If I would have been able to see her wounds, I almost certainly would have done so. I'm not some altruistic person. I'm not looking out for my competitors. I'm here to survive, not make frivolous gestures. And then you had to get that damn foolish, impotent, moronic, irrational, positively ridiculous guilt trip into my head. You're right, letting her die would have been a kind fate compared to listening to her struggling to breathe, slowly bleeding out while there is nothing to be done.
For her or for you?
Both.
For her or for you, Sienna?
What do you want me to say? Suffering is life. Life is suffering.
I want you to stop denying
what?
I tell you, if you stopped interrupting me.
You don't understand the pain of living in dark, cold, jacked world and want her to die, Aku. You got me. But that does mean that I would have prolonged her suffering. It does mean that I would have risked myself for some pointless gesture. Do you know how much it hurts right now to move? To just exist? I'm used to pain my life physical and psychological. To have but a few more hours of life be a little more of an agony. No, I should have let her go into the abyss then and there. Just because fate is a cruel mistress full of suffering does not mean I wish to maximize it for others.
And yourself, right?
Nothing I do will spare my fate.
I take a seat next to the dark, edgy mage with a small bit of understanding forming. You've given up and hate yourself for it, huh?
Aku, you wouldn't understand.
I understand, Sienna.
No, you don't.
What the hell is she trying to prove? I understand her situation. It's not something that is so foreign to me that it flies over my head. So okay, maybe I've never lost my family. When I was young, I don't talk to them much, so that is at least a little similar.
That's not similar at all! The fuck?
And sure, I'm an only child. Same actually. I never had to take care of two starving kids who looked up to me and admired me, but plenty of people admire me. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because I highly doubt that. I have tons of admirers who couldn't get anything done without me. I so doubt that, like, dude. She's so full of herself, it's ridiculous. Maybe that isn't the best comparison hearing it out. But I know what it's like to struggle with all my might and never get anywhere. You know, I actually like the little detail of the bandages being covered in blood a little bit. It's a good thing. My mind doesn't even let me humor that one for a second. I never allowed life to keep me down. I've dominated since the moment I was born. While my own prodigious talents, oh my god, please shut up, are the main reason for so many successes, having often life with family and failures too, I guess, that encourage my development as school of dedicated instructors, and always having every single opportunity I needed may have made it easier. With the exception of the days when I was unable to partner with anyone, the attack by the golem that nearly killed me, and pretty much every day since I got to this world I can't really think of time when I was in genuine struggles. Life has been easy. Wow. Lucky for you, I guess. Damn it. Have I really been going through life on the easiest difficulty and then gloating about it? I bet you did. I mean, I most certainly could have taken on all the challenges Sienna has faced and come out ahead. I honestly can't stand her as main character. Could I have? No, you couldn't! My god. Would I still have been myself? You're right.
Excuse me?
I've had it easy. I've had everything I've ever wanted or needed to get ahead. I've had all the clues I've ever needed to refine my abilities, and I can think of more than a handful of times where I've been in a serious situation where people I loved or cared about would suffer if I failed. Fell out of the mountain. Thankfully, Celeste needed a course mate. My studies were going poor. There were plenty of other people I could steal and refine from. The few times faced a true challenge, I've come up short. I paid the price last time. Zoe and Poppy said paid the price this time. Can't believe that I was upset with Zoe, and I mean absolutely incensed that she dared to be the one who wielded the weapon. Then the moment I froze, I got terrified. Zoe didn't, but judging when I had mocked her, I couldn't do anything. Maybe if I had...
Perhaps.
You're right. I understand. My life being nothing like yours and makes me willing to blind myself. It means not seeing those truths. Do it. I wait for you to actually do it. You say it, but you don't actually mean it. Let's face it.
Life is unfair. Cruel, hateful, sadistic mistress that enjoys sipping on the fleeting moments of joy and happiness that it can give.
Is that how it is?
Yes, that's how it is. It is. The sooner you leave your ivory tower where everything works out for you, the sooner you can come to terms with the sacrifice we are all forced to make. Pointless sacrifices in the march towards the end. But you were right about one thing in your life. In your little self-gratifying tirade against me.
What's that?
I couldn't look Sophia and Rowan in the eyes if I had let Poppy perish without trying something. I set you up. Go ahead and make your joke about how I couldn't have seen them no matter what I did.
Sorry, I don't have a lot of laughter left in me or anger or anything. I could even keep myself upset at you for 5 minutes. I glance over at the unconscious form of Poppy and shake my head.
You are new to staring into the abyss. You're still trying to use your ego to keep you afloat in a sea of misery. But it won't. Eventually will fail enough that your ego will break. You will sink beneath its waves, and you will either drown or lose yourself entirely beneath its waves. Because those games are going to be full of failing. People are going to die. People you care about. The only way to stay afloat is to not care about anything here and accept your death, or find the strength you've never bothered to look for inside of you.
How do I find it?
You don't. Strength of character isn't something that you can get a certification for or steal from some competitor. You will find you have it, or you will find anguish, perhaps both. Assume you all live long enough to face more moral quandaries.
You are right. I can't break down when we may be fighting for our lives again tonight. Just have to keep pushing forward.
Striving headfirst into unending darkness is all anyone can do.
Silence falls upon us as we watch the slow-moving chest of Poppy. She takes breath still. Maybe she'll make it through this. Sienna, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
You've asked that before, I said no, and you still asked anyway.
If you don't wish to speak on the matter, I don't have enough fight left in me to force you to talk. Your siblings, I want to know about them.
Okay.
I'm an only child, so...
Surprise, surprise, wow.
And you love your siblings enough that you are willing to do anything to take care of them. I understand your situation, why you're willing to go so far. I want to start closing some distance between us. Silence returns between us. I was expecting her to respond to me, but I doubt she will.
What do you want to know?
Hey. Oh, I wasn't expecting her to care enough about. I deserve to learn give up on the information she was incredibly tight-lipped about them even existing before this. I just want to hear some stories.
Stories? Could you ask a more generic question? Sophia is the more upbeat of the three of us, but she's the most strict. If we establish a rule or say that we are going to do something, she will enforce it with no hesitation. I roll my own cigarettes with shishu that I pay for with the odd coin I find on the ground, and make them too often, but they require the stress reliever after a stressful haste.
Shishu.
A mild depressant that is a controllable substance in Empire, not the kind of thing that they want the poor or the young to get their hands on. But when life is but a miserable downward spiral to death, it is a welcome relief, even if it lasts only for a fleeting time. Sophia doesn't see it that way. There is a chance that smoking shishu can cause lung problems late in life.
Yeah. But that is the problem when life has no meaning and death is a welcomed companion.
You're a fast learner. Sophia told me that while she couldn't ban me from smoking it, she did not approve and would do everything she could to stop me from doing it. Whenever I would set it out in our little random house and hot water drain that wasn't used anymore, it would mysteriously disappear and these little homemade baked goods would appear in that place. That's so sweet of her!
But how did she manage to make baked goods?
Oh, did the Mage Instructor never use her magics for cooking her dinner?
No, I had an oven for that.
Did you ever use your magic for anything mundane?
I'm not saying I didn't sometimes use my magic to create a shield, so I didn't get trained on, but most of the time I used an umbrella.
Really? I guess you pulled out your magic on every little thing to prove you could.
Maybe when I was a young teenager, but after a while I learned that it was far easier to just use my natural abilities than normal objects, instead of whipping up magic every time. That your sister did all of the cooking by a flame in her hand and wasn't constantly overcooking or burning what she made is impressive to me.
It wasn't just her. Rowan was the master of the flame. Sophia controlled the airflow to keep it burning at just the right temperature for an even heat. Though they could not see it, they knew how to work their powers in tandem to make a far greater effect.
Maybe they were onto something. Sienna gives me a pained sigh and shakes her head.
Okay. Do you think we had banded together in some kind of unison she may not have gotten hurt?
Your siblings seem to manage just fine working in sync.
Because they're twins and understand how the other thinks, whereas you don't have the slightest clue how people other than you think. Than yourself think.
And you don't want to bother risking opening up enough to learn.
I'm glad we understand that about each other at least. I don't mean to be rude, but we're disturbing the patients, we should go.
Agreed.
Thank you. Look.
I get it. You're looking at the end goal, but you're trying to help how you can. I stepped over a few boundaries I shouldn't have.
I could try harder. She tried harder knowing the danger it possessed. If either of us had tried to help her, maybe...
Yeah, I was too scared of the darkness.
And I was too absurd by it.
It's just, without magic I feel naked. Helpless. It's been such a huge part of my life for such a long time that without it I don't feel like myself. I never bothered training my body to more than a satisfactory degree. Wow. The idea of fighting with weapons was one I only considered for barbarians, which, you know, I'm not. That's ridiculous. Up to the point when that monster looked me straight in the eyes, I fooled myself enough to think that as long as I used my brain, nothing here could touch me. That was revealed for the lie, it was instantly. All my shortcomings, my dependency on magic to be useful here, literal sacrifice, it all came flooding back to me. And I froze because I was scared out of my mind, looking into the eyes of death, knowing that all my plans meant nothing in the face of it.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm scared and not thinking clearly, because I don't want to keep fighting with you. I know it is stupid, silly, and probably impossible to make happen with my goals, but I want you to get home to your brother and sister. I want you to have a happy end to this story.
Ooh.
Damn it all, I'm too weak to make any of it happen, but I don't want to give up on it.
And what do you want from me?
Sienna, I'm being as sincere as I can be when I say this. Whether or not on my team as easy as it is to butt heads with you, I'd like to work out a deal between us.
Why do you keep trying to push that when I've made it clear that we are always going to be on the opposite sides? Our objectives just aren't compatible. But if the darkness is likely to consume the both of us, perhaps we can be friends until that point comes, assuming you learn to get that ego in check.
And you can learn to play on the team.
But Aku, you can't play on a team yourself. Then I will see you when the sun rises, Aku. Try not to let the nightmares tonight bother you too much.
Sia takes a long look at where Puppy struggles. A look of determination crosses her face for a moment before she remembers that I'm still here. Can't expose her true emotions too much to the world. Heh, for someone who has spent so much time figuratively staring at the worst in her life, Sienna really does keep herself moving strong. Feeling as though the weight on my back has been lifted ever so slightly, I head back towards my room with the faintest hope that tomorrow won't end shrouded in so much darkness. And where we are heading is the end of this second episode, in Wind in the Crown. That's right! And tomorrow we will start episode 3. We'll see where it's going exactly. So hope to see you there. Hope you will have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking it as per usual. The spiel that I don't like saying, but whatever. If you're new around, subscribe. We're playing this. We'll play more games, obviously. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram in the description as well if you're into that stuff. And most importantly, the link to the game is there as well, so you can play it yourself. That's it. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. And hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.